Welcome to RidgeLife. Tonight we're going to have a special treat on the Ridge. We're going to have Venison Wellington. You've heard of beef Wellington? Well, this is a venison backstrap Wellington. It's going to be so delicious, so sit back, get ready to watch. Venison Wellington is an exquisite looking meal, and it's going to taste just as good as it looks. Of course, we're going to do a little ridge flair tonight too as we prepare this meal. So we're going to start with a piece of venison backstrap we've cut in half. We've lightly marinated it about 5 or 6 hours in a Dale's and Worcestershire sauce marinade. We're using Pepperidge Farms puff pastry dough. So we have some baby bell portobello mushrooms, a sweet onion, some feta cheese, butter. We have prosciutto, thin sliced prosciutto. We've got some thyme for seasoning, cracked pepper, some Cavender's seasoning, garlic salt, and of course salt and pepper. To prepare our Venison Wellington, we're going to season up our backstrap with our selected seasonings. We're going to brown each side 4 to 5 minutes. I don't want to cook the meat, I just want to brown and sear the outside of it. Now, for our mushroom paste, we're going to chop up our mushrooms, some sweet onion, some garlic powder, and our feta cheese is going to get added in at the end. So we lay out our prosciutto, and then we put our chopped mushrooms and onion and garlic powder laid out into, say, an 1/8 of an inch thick layer on top of the prosciutto. And then I'm going to layer a little bit of feta cheese on top of that. We put our backstrap on that and roll it on. So then you'll have your meat in the middle, your mushroom paste, and then your prosciutto. And then on the outside of that, we'll wrap our puff pastry dough, cutting off the edges and pinching it to give it that little flair that make the presentation so good. And then we're going to put a little egg wash on top, put it in the oven, bake it, have it come out golden brown on the outside, medium rare on the inside. It's going to be delicious. We've chopped up our baby bell portobello mushrooms, and we chopped up a sweet onion, and you can see I got about 2/3 to 1/3 mushrooms to onion. That's the ratio we're going for. Before we brown our backstrap, I'm going to lightly saute the mushroom, onion, garlic mixture in our skillet, and then we'll set that off to the side to let it set as we brown our backstrap. So I've got the skillet come up to temp. I'll put some butter in there. We'll let that melt, and then we'll saute our vegetables. Again, I don't want to cook the vegetables. I just want to give them a light browning. So get that in there. Not trying to make a sauce or anything. So I'm going to start off by adding the onions. We'll caramelize this a little bit. Then we'll add our mushrooms. Get all that in there. Starts to sizzle up and sound wonderful. Got our butter in there. Oh, that just smells wonderful. And you can see that's a 2/3 mushroom to 1/3. I'm going to bring that down now to medium heat. I don't want to burn anything. We get our garlic powder going on here. Okay, got a garlic powder. Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm going to do a little cracked black pepper in there. That's perfect. And a little bit of salt. Okay. I want to burn this. Again, we're just lightly caramelizing the onion just a little bit. That looks so good and it just tastes so wonderful. And if you don't like onion as much, you can go 20-25% the mushroom. You can leave the onion out if you like, but this is going to make it taste wonderful. Goes a little bit higher on the heat. The mushrooms are starting to turn color on us a little bit. They're softening up. You start to see the onions get a little translucent. Again, I don't want to make this all turn into mush. The last thing I'm going to do is add some Worcestershire to this mix. And that's just going to finish it off. Oh, that smells so wonderful. Oh, I can't believe how wonderful this smells, everybody. Just going to heat that up. Any sauce that is made in here, I'm going to evaporate that out real quick. That looks wonderful. And you can chop up the, finer if you like. A lot of the Wellington have this almost minced. I like a little texture in it, so again, it's not mushy. Still a little choppy. And then when I go to brown the meat, have it being in this pan with that extra sauce, oh, it's just going to be wonderful. So I'm going to fork this off, put this in the bowl, and that's going to be our mushroom paste for our Wellington. I'm left-handed here, guys, so I'm blocking the camera as I dish, but that's one of the struggles of being left-handed. It's okay if I leave some of this in here when I go to brown. I've made more than enough that I need for the meal. But if I leave it in here when I brown the meat, it's just going to be that much better. The meat's going to take up more of that flavor. Okay. So now I'm going to add a little more butter. A little more butter. Let that go up there. Again, medium-high heat. Get our butter in there. Oh, everybody, you can just smell what I smell. All right, now it's time to get our backstrap in there. It's on medium-high, slightly put that on there. All right, I'm just going to pour the marinade on top of that. All right. Go ahead and pop it up on high real quick so we'll sear the outside of it. You can see I got a smaller, bigger piece and a smaller piece. We'll probably take this one out as soon as it starts to brown. Of course, someone may like it medium, someone may like it medium rare. So if I cook them the same amount of time, this is going to come out more medium, this will come out more medium rare. So it works out good for your family by doing it that way. So trying to get all those juices. Get all those juices there. Okay. So while this side, I'm going to put some Cavenders on this side. It's not cooked yet. Cavender seasoning, it's wonderful stuff, everybody. Okay. Just a little fresh thyme on the outside. And you do that to taste. A little garlic powder. Okay. Flip that over. Oh, get that all around there. Okay. Same thing on this side, little Cavenders. Just a little thyme. Thyme can go be pretty strong. You don't want too much of it. Okay. A little garlic powder. A little salt. Mix that around in our juices. Again, you don't want to cook this meat. We're just searing browning the outside of it. Flip that over. Flip that over. And all these flavors in there, everybody. Oh. All right, it's brown. I'm going to turn that off. And so it doesn't cook anymore. I'm going to set this off to the side. Final cooking is going to be done in the oven. What's left in our skillet we'll save for our brown gravy. Brown gravy as an accompaniment to your beef Wellington or your venison Wellington is just wonderful. So I got my mushroom paste. It does have some juice in it, so I'm going to strain that juice off in there. I don't want the juice wrapped up in the Venny Wellington. So I'm just pour that in there. I don't want to dry. Otherwise, the pastry will get very moist. So I don't want to do that. So just gonna get this all drained off. Okay, so we got that drained off. Again, that's just sitting there. Okay, set that off to the side so it doesn't burn. We've got our prosciutto laid out flat, and it's very thin and very hard to work with. I got it laid out on a glass cutting board. Now I'm going to just take, again, just the dry mushroom paste, just kind of lightly put it across there. Just want to get a light, even coat, and we can put more on, you know, as we get it wrapped up. So I gotta save enough for 2. Okay, so again, that's just going to be light. There we go. Doesn't that look wonderful? Okay, we're going to add our venison backstrap right to the center like that. Okay, now the tricky part is to get this wrapped up and not lose anything. So before I go any further, I want to add some feta cheese. This is just to get a little ridge flare. We'll add a little feta cheese to the outside of it. If you don't like feta cheese, you can leave this off, of course. Again, I'm just going to put a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to give it that little bite of feta. Across the top there. And I hope at home, this smells so wonderful, everybody. I mean, just to look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now I'm going to wrap it up. Get it wrapped up. Wrapped up on there. Okay. That is so good. Okay, we'll let that sit there for a minute and let it start sticking to itself. And then we'll get our pastry dough and get that inside pastry dough. And there's probably 4, 5, 6 different ways to do this. Whatever way works best for you. But this is going to be delicious. We've got 1 sheet of puff pastry dough laid out. I'm going to slowly pick up our Wellington, put it in there, make sure, get everything added back to it. Again, there's better ways to wrap your prosciutto. That's good right there. So now I'm going to pull it over, okay, and then I'm going to pinch. I'm going to pinch it. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Now we're going to lay our paste down on our second prosciutto mix. Set up. Now you can use bacon. I think I mentioned earlier, you can use bacon instead of the prosciutto. Prosciutto is so thin and hard to deal with that you may find better results using the bacon. But it's going to be so delicious. Second piece of meat. Again, isn't that beautiful? Okay. A little bit of feta cheese mixed in there. Now we're going to wrap it up. That press on a little bit. Oh, that's good. Slide down. That is so wonderful. We have our second piece of puff pastry, and we're going to transfer that over gently. Again, lost a little bit of cheese there. It's good. Okay. So now again, I'm going to pull it up over. Pull it up over. Fold the ends over. Just for that decorative look. And just pinch, 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 pinch. There we go. That is beautiful. All right. Let's get that added to this one. All right, everyone. You know that's going to be as delicious as it looks. We're going to make the egg wash, and it's just a little bit of water. We have 2 Ridge Farm Fresh eggs. And I just want to get all the yolk out of there. I mean the white. There we go. Look how yellow that yolk is, everybody. That is a RidgeLife chicken egg. You can tell I'm not a master chef here. There we go. Got our egg white mostly separated. There we go. Now we'll batter that up and reuse that for our egg wash. Get a good mix on this. Okay. 2 egg yolks and a little bit of water. The light egg wash. And that's just going to make the outside beautiful golden brown. Everybody can see that. There's our egg wash. Our oven has been preheated to 450 degrees. We have not put the egg wash in yet. We're going to put this in the oven for 5 or so minutes at 450. Then I'm going to take it down to 425, put a little egg wash on it, and then finish it up then. So let's get it in the oven at 450, top shelf. And we're waiting. We've been at 425 for a few minutes. It's starting to brown. Before it gets any further, I'm going to pull this out. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I want to poke some holes. Let the air out. I don't want it to poof up too much. Okay, and a light egg wash. Because it won't, the puff pastry won't puff up very well if you put your egg wash on it too soon. It may cause it to deflate or get thick and heavy. So light coating there. That should do it. Let's get that back in there. 425. Continue cooking. It's been 15-20 minutes. A little hint, if your oven is starting to brown the top of your pastry too quickly, you can put some aluminum foil sheeting lightly across the top, and that'll help it cook the meat and keep from browning your pastry too much. So now it's time to take it out, turn it off, pull it out. Oh, I hear it sizzling, everybody. And look at that. Does that look wonderful? All right, the test is going to be to cut it open. So what will it look like when we cut it open? We'll start with this one. Now for the time to see how it cooked. We'll cut through the center of this one. Let's hope that the meat is done. Again, we wanted a medium rare. And the answer is going to be, oh people, you ain't going to want to see this. It's going to make you jealous. It's going to make you jealous. Look at that, everybody. Look at that. Does that look wonderful? That is beautiful. Let's cut the other one and see how it looks. All right, through the center. Of course, the edges will be a little more brown for those who don't like it so medium rare. Oh, it looks so wonderful. Okay, let's pull this one up. Open that up. Smells delicious too. Okay. Get this one open. Get this one open. Oh, and the crust is so light and flaky. Juice is coming out. Well, there you go from the Ridge. This is our first ever Venison Wellington. Vinny Wellington from the Ridge. So we're going to enjoy this, and until next time, everyone have a blessed day and go Ridge Life.